So, good day everyone, we are the group 2 and today we will discuss about the national artists. So, next slide please. So, for our content, so the first on the list is introduction, and the second is the theme, and next is national artist for theater, and next is national artist for literature, and next is national artist for architecture, and next is national artist for sculpture, and the last is national artist for film and broadcast arts. So for our introduction, so today we will talk about national artists to those who received for awards for their hard work, and nominate us to get most excellent awards for or most excellent artist in who got award in different of category. So for the team, so the leader is Bautista Jasmine Angela, and the members are Yan Arsaga Anatol, Bartolay Angelin, Persamin Angelin, and Erlandes Christian, Gabat Altea, Gisalba Andre Jericho, Muramoto Rita, and Bilbar Alea, and the last is Michael Villanueva. So the first we will discuss about national artist for theater. So
Cueto Amorsolo was one of the most important Philippines artists. Amorsolo was a painter of portraits of people and village scenes of the Philippines. Siya ay kilala sa kanyang pagkamalikain at kadalubasan sa paggamit ng liwanag sa isang masining na aspeto. Ipinanganak sa Paco, Maynila. Nagtapos siya sa Manila High School of Art noong 1909. Isinilang siya noong Mayo 30, 1892 sa King Heran sa Paco, Maynila kina Pedro Amorsolo at Bonifacio Cueto. Malaking bahagi ng kasalukuyang kabataan ang pinakita niya sa Daet Camarines Norte. Nag-aral siya sa University of the Philippines School of Fine Arts na tinuruan din ng kanyang pintor na tiyuhin na si Vivian de la Rosa. Lumikha siya ng mga gawa hanggang sa kanyang kamatayan noong April 24, 1972. And then he is a good painter with the talent for art, and he, Amorsolo, was married twice and had 14 children, and kilalang kilala si Amorsolo dahil sa pagpinta ng mga kababaihan mula sa kabukiran at maging sa mga liwanag na mga larawang may tanawin na karaniwang lalarawan ng mga nakaugaliang gawain, pagdiriwang at hanap buhay. At ito ang kanyang mga award o achievement na nakuha. 1908, ikalawang katimpala Bazar Escolta para sa Libendo Periodico or Association International de Artistas. 1922, unang kandipala peryang pang-komersyal at industrial sa Carnaval ng Maynila. 1929 to 1939, unang gantimpala peryang pansandaigdigan ng New York para sa Afternoon Meal of the Rice Workers o panghapong oras ng pagkaing tanghalian ng mga mambubukid. 1940, gantimpala para sa bukod tanging alumanay ng Pamantasan ng Pilipinas. 1959, medalyang ginto, Komisyong Pambansa ng UNESCO. 1961, gantimpalang Rizal Pro Patria. 1961, pagkadalubhasa sa mga araling pantao o honorary doctorate in the humanities mula sa Far Eastern University. 1963, diploma ng parangal, Diploma of Merit mula sa Pamantasan ng Pilipinas. 1963, gantimpalang patnubay ng sining at kalinagan mula sa lungsod ng Maynila. 1963, gawad ng pamanang pangkultura mula sa Republika or Republic Cultural Heritage Award o 1972, gawad CCP para sa sining mula sa Sentrong Pangkultura ng Pilipinas or Cultural Center of the Philippines.
Abdul Mari Asia Imao, born on January 14, 1936 in Siasi, Sulu. Died at the age of 78 at his home in Marikina. One of his famous artwork is the Sari Manok, which made him one the National Artist of the Philippines for sculpture in 2006. The highest award given by the Cultural Center of the Philippines will be given to 12 individuals, a performing group, and a publication for their outstanding achievements and contribution to Philippine art and culture. And the award is given to Dr. Abdul Mari. Next is Gawad Patnubay ng Sining by the City of Manila 1985. It was awarded to Dr. Abdul Mari as recognition of Filipino artists who have dedicated their talents and skill. Also, Dr. Imal's work and motives are deeply rooted in his Muslim upbringing. but he also embraced a healthy relationship and respectful dialogue with other faiths. Next is Ang Kyo Cook, born on March 1, 1931 at Davao City. Death is on May 9, 2005, Quezon City. In 1976, Ang was awarded the Outstanding Citizen Award which led to 1978 Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan Award. And in 2001, he was awarded the Pambansang Alagad ng Sining ng Pilipinas, which also known for National Artist of the Philippines Order, the highest honor for artistic achievement in the Philippines. Ang Kyo Cook was a Filipino painter known for his expressive, cubist-like works. He often chose dynamic or disturbing subject matter, frequently depicting rapid dogs, crucifixions, and screaming figures in an abstract geometric style.
Jose Hoya. Jose born in June 3, 1931 in Manila. He died noong May 11, 1995 in Manila at the age of 63 after complication from a prostate operation. Jose Tanig Hoya, June 3, 1931 to May 11, 1995, was a Filipino abstract artist and a National Artist of the Philippines awardee. Hoya was a printmaker, painter, mixed media artist, and a former dean of the University of the Philippines College of Fine Arts. He was awarded a grant which enabled him to pursue a master's degree in fine arts in 1956 to 57. His works were strongly influenced by the tropical landscape of the Philippine island. Among his masterpieces are the Jidri, a college rendered with Asian calligraphy and forms and patterns resembling rice paddies, the Grenadian Arabesque in 1958 and Biennial in 1964. Jose Hoya graduated as the college first magna cum laude in 1953 and the Spanish government awarded him a grant to further study painting in Spain at the Instituto de Cultura Hispánica from 1954 to 1955. After studying in Madrid, he granted to attend school in Michigan at the Cranbrook Academy of Art under Zoltan Sepeshi, where he would eventually earn his master's degree in painting in 1957. At this time, Hoya was received another grant from the John D. Fund and Ford Foundation to paint at New York's Pratt Graphic Arts Center. Victoria C. Edades. Victoria born in December 23, 1895 in Balasan, Dagupan. He died no March 7, 1985 in Davao City. Victoria Candido Edades, December 23, 1895 to March 7, 1985, was a Filipino painter. He led the revolutionary 13 moderns who engaged their classical compatriots in heated debate over the nature and function of art. He was named a national artist in 1976. The history names Victor Edades as the father of modern Philippine art. Schooled in the U.S. upon his return, he introduced an entirely new way of thinking about art. He argued that art can be more than representation of reality. It can be representation of reality as seen through the mind and emotion of the artist. Victoria Edades was declared National Artist for Painting in 1976. Moreover, he was given Pro Patria Award during the Rizal Centennial celebration in 1961 and Patnubay ng Singsing at Kalinangan Award in 1964 from the city of Manila.
So, following are the national artists of literature in the Philippines. So, we are going to list three: Amado V. Hernandez, Jose Garcia Villa, and Carlos Peña Romulo Sr. So first, si Amado V. Hernandez. He was born on September 13, 1903 at Hangonoy, Bulacan. Pero he was raised in Tondo, Manila. And he died at the age of 66 years old on March 24, 1970 due to heart attack. So, punta tayo sa career niya. Nag-start yung career niya at 1920s and during that time, he was still a teenager. It continuously grew to the point na he became famous for his works. Mas nakikilala na siya. And another fact, in Manila Diliman, he was an editor there for 3 years, 1932 to 1934. So, he was a reporter, writer, columnist, poet, and an editor to newspapers and magazines such as Watawat, Mabuhay or Manila Daily Mabuhay, Pilipino, Makabayan, and Sampaguita. So, ang ganda ng record niya. However, his life took a turn on January 26, 1951. He was imprisoned due to his writings, because of his writings. Yes po, nakulong po siya for 5 years more or less. So basically, inakusahan siya na kasapi ng communists. Parang dahil dun sa pagiging matapang niya bilang writer. Okay, so he was imprisoned for 5 to 6 years, 1951 to 1956. And even during his time in prison, he did not stop his passion. He kept on writing. And an example is his masterpiece, Mga Ibong Mandaranggit. So he wrote that during his prison time. And his wife, Coronata Atang Derama, a national artist too, pero in music and theater naman siya. So she sneaked the works of Ka Amado, parang nilalabas niya to be published. So, ayun, ulterior motive niya pag pumupunta siya ng prison, pag dinadalaw niya yung asawa niya, is mailabas din yung mga sinusulat ni Ka Amado. So, next is his achievements. The achievements of Amado P. Hernandez. First, he won the title, Makata ng Ilaw at Pantig. Second, he was an awardee to a Nationalist Historical Epic Pilipinas, a Commonwealth Literary Contest in 1939. Next, the works of his Kayumanggi and Pilipinas. Kayumanggi, collection of tula and mostly traditional poems. So, ayun. Anyways, Kayumanggi and Pilipinas both won an award in Commonwealth contest. So next, he was appointed as councilor in 1945 to 1946, then again in 1948 to 1951. Then next, he became the president of Congress of Labor Organization or CLO in 1947. Next, he was considered as the first Filipino to publish socio-political novels. So, during that time, nakakatakot talagang mag-publish ng mga ganong klaseng sulatin or literature. Kasi nga, yung rights and freedom ng mga Pilipino is limited. So, ayun, dahil nga matapang siya, nag-release pa din siya, and then he was considered as the first one to do that. So, ang example nito is yung binanggit ko kanina, yung mga ibong mandaranggit na sinulat niya sa prison pa, sa kulungan. Next, Luha ng Buwaya won the NPC ESSO Journalism Award. So, we have examples sa PowerPoint presentation. Then next, he became a voice for freedom of expression and human rights worldwide. So, ayun, part siya ng achievements kasi isang malaking achievements naman yung considered as one of the voice or makonsider na parang boses ka ng freedom of rights, freedom and rights sa worldwide o mundo. So, ayun, sinama natin siya kasi nga dahil sa katapangan niya, kinonsider siya as one. The next, the Tanglaw ng Lahi Award from Ateneo Manila at 1970. And last but not the least, most importantly, he officially became a national artist ng Pilipinas in the industry of literature at 1973. So that's all. So kanina, pinag-usapan natin si Amado P. Hernandez. Ngayon naman, pag-uusapan natin si Jose Garcia Villa, ang pangalawang national artist of literature in the Philippines. So, Jose, pangalawa siya out of 3 kasi sabi ko po kanina, meron tayong tatlo na mapag-uusapan today na national artist ng literature. So, Jose was born on August 5, 1908 sa Manila. And he died at February 7, 1997 due to cerebral stroke and multilobar pneumonia. And it was at the age of 88 years old. So, next naman yung pinag-aralan niya. First, he went to University of Integrated School para sa kanyang elementary. And then, University of the Philippines High School for secondary. And then, University of the Philippines para naman sa college. So, puro UP. And after that, he took pre-med, but then he switched to pre-law afterwards. And then, he took his bachelor's degree at University of New Mexico at 1932. And after that, he went to Columbia University for graduate study naman. Next, yung mga kilalang sinulat niya. First, The Anchored Angel, The Emperors, New Sonnet, and then Footnote to Youth. So, a fact about him, he wasn't a writer simula pa lang. Before, naging muna siya, painter. So, bago siya maging writer, painter muna siya. Pero siguro, nagkaroon siya ng realizations and then he switched and then he tried something new, which is writing. Pero ang first passion niya talaga is painting. So, after that, siguro nag-grow na yung career niya and then, ayan, napunta dun sa point na naging famous siya. So, he was known for a lot of things. First, he was known as a modernist poet dahil sa kanyang style. Yung style niya siguro, mas parang kinukonsider na modern-ish. And then, he was known also as a comma poet because of his extreme usage of punctuation marks. So, makikita yun sa writings niya na talagang mabusisi siya pagdating sa mga punctuation marks. And then, siya rin yung nagpakilala ng reversed consequence rhyme scheme. And then, also, another fact about him, he used the pen name The Villion. The Villion, which means dove, lion, and eagle. And yung, animals na yun, he thinks, or he believes that it is his, parang persona. That's why ginamit niya yung pen name na yun. So, next is his achievement. So, the achievements of Jose Garcia Villa. First, he was considered as one of the finest contemporary artists or poets. Dahil nga sa kanyang unique style, his passion, talent, and style, kinikonsider siya as one of the finest na artist or writer. Next, yung kanyang sinulat na first book of his, Have Come, Am Here, and Then it won the American Academy of Arts and Letters Award in 1942. Next, he won Guggenheim Fellowship in 1942 again, and Bollingen Foundation Fellowship 1951 to 1952, and then Shelley Memorial Award in 1958. Next, he won the Philippine Cultural Heritage Award in 1962, then Rockefeller Foundation Fellowship in 1963, and then he was appointed as Presidential Advisor on Cultural Affairs by the Philippine government in 1968. And last but not the least, he was elected for the National Artist in 1973. So, one of his biggest achievements is mapasama sa National Artist of Literature in the Philippines. That's all. Thank you.
Carlos Peña Romulo born on January 14, 1899 in Camiling, and died in December 15, 1985 in Manila. The Carlos P. Romulo children is Carlos Romulo Jr., Roberto Romulo, Gregorio Vicente Romulo, and Ricardo Jose Romulo. Carlos Peña Romulo was a reporter at 16, a newspaper editor by the age of 20, and a publisher at 32. He was a co-founder of the Boy Scout of the Philippines, a general in the USA Army and the Philippines Army, university president, president of the UN General Assembly, was eventually named one of the Philippines' national artists in literature, and was the recipient of many other honors and honorary degrees. March 1947, World Government News First Annual Gold Medal Award for work in the United Nations for Peace and World Government. May 1947, Princeton University Woodrow Wilson Memorial Foundation Gold Medal Award in recognition of his contribution to public life.
So next is the national artist for architecture. First is Francisco T. Manyosa.
Francisco Manyosa was born on February 12, 1931 in Manila, Philippine Island. He died on February 20, 2019 at the age of 88 in Muntinlupa City, Philippines. His nationality is Filipino and occupation is architecture. He was awarded by a National Artist of the Philippines for architecture in 2018. Francisco Manyosa considered one of the most influential Filipino of the 20th century. For having pioneered the art of the Philippine vernacular architecture, his contribution to the development of Philippine architecture led to his recognition as a National Artist of the Philippines for architecture in 2018. Although he was popularly known as the architect of the Coconut Palace, his other notable work include the EDSA Shrine, the Mary Immaculate Paris, or Nature Church in Las Piñas, the Davao Pearl Farm, and the Amampulo Resort. Manyosa devoted his life to work for creating a Filipino identity in the architecture, advocating designs philosophies that harken back to the Bahay Kubo and the Bahay Bato. And the other traditional vernacular forms, Manyosa became known for combining these traditional forms and indigenous materials with modern building technology to create structure which he felt were those best suited to the Philippine tropical climate. Early life of education of Manyosa. Manyosa was born in Philippines, growing up in a gentle neighborhood on Azcaraga Street, or later renamed Recto Avenue. His parents were Maria Tronque, one of the early actresses of Philippine cinema, and Manuel Manyosa Sr. is his father, a Harvard-educated sanitary engineer who was director of the Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System from 1947 to 1955. Nicknamed Bobby is in the American-inspired fashion of the era. He played jazz piano and initially wanted a career in music, but studied as architecture at the University of Santo Tomas on the insistence of his father. Manyosa was known for his advocacy of what has been called Filipino vernacular architecture and design of motifs and local materials such as coconut and local hardwood. Manyosa developed a modern architectural style whose touchstone was the traditional Filipino square house, the Bahay Kubo. He used indigenous materials and experimented with new technologies so that it would be able to use in modern contexts. Philippine architecture historian Gerard Lico described Manyosa's style, saying his approach to traditional design on the ability of the architect to identify the essential building elements and to translate them into a contemporary image. His architecture is not a mere mechanical mimicry of vernacular architecture, which many would think to be locked in time. He initiated a temporary mode that uses and revitalizes the knowledge from previous generations, recovering age-old construction methods and finishing materials and emphasizing their tropical and thermal qualities. The Coconut Palace. Manyosa insistence on only taking up projects with a Filipino identity eventually led him to leave Manyosa Brothers and put up his own firm because he had built up his name designing the San Miguel Corporation headquarters. He was asked by Imelda Marcos to build the Tahanang Filipino, Filipino home often referred to as the Coconut Palace within the cultural center of the Philippines complex. The project became controversial because the opulent design was paid for with government funds and was soon cited as a prominent example of Marcos. Edifice complex excesses, the palace was completed in time for Pope John Paul. Visit in 1981 for the beatification of Lorenzo Ruiz. Mrs. Marcos invited him to stay at the newly constructed palace, but the offer was declined by the Pope because it was too opulent given the level of poverty in the Philippines, but eventually became a guest house for celebrity visitors of the Marcoses until they were deposed and exiled by the civilians back ano People Power Revolution in 1986. The EDSA Shrine. The EDSA Shrine is Marcoses were sent into exile in 1986. Jaime Cardinal Sin of the Archdiocese of Manila began conceiving of a shrine that would celebrate the People Power Revolution, which had deposed them. Cardinal Sin's offer for people to rally in the streets had played a pivotal role in assuming that uprising succeed without the need of bloodshed. And Philippines' large Catholic majority characterized its success as a miracle. So Cardinal approached Manyosa about designing a shrine commemorating the event. Manyosa had first proposed a complete different design to the shrine, above ground and based on the Bahay Kubo. However, the design was disapproved when an influential member of the committee insisted on a Spanish design for the church. Manyosa walked out on the project, saying through to his "I designed Filipino, nothing else" policy. Manyosa's wife later quoted him saying to the committee, "A Spanish colonial church commemorating a Philippine revolution on Philippine soul. Never, I believe, I am not your architect. I cannot do that to our country or to our people." Cardinal Sin asked Manyosa to reconsider, so Manyosa came back and developed a new People Plaza design which would be used for the actual project. The EDSA Shrine was completed in 1989. Manyosa's breakthrough was as an architect happened while he was still working at Manyosa Brothers, when the firm was hired to design the new headquarters of San Miguel Corporation in Mandaluyong. The brothers designed a building which was inspired by the Banawe rice terraces, with green design features which were ahead of the time. The award that Francisco Manyosa received is National Artist of the Philippines. This award is the order of the highest state honor conferred on individuals named as having done much for their artistic field. Deserving individuals must have been recommended by both the Cultural Center and the National Commission for Culture and the Arts prior to receiving awards. Such people are the titled by virtue of a prudential proclamation as a national artist or gawad pambansang alagad ng sining and are inducted into the order.
So next is Pablo S. Antonio.
Pablo S. Antonio was born in Binondo, Manila on January 25, 1901. He was orphaned by the age of 12 and had to work in the daytime. In order to finish his high school education and work at night, he studied architecture at the Mapua Institute of Technology, but dropped out of the school. Ramon Arevalo, the engineer in charge of the Legislative Building Project, founded Antonio's education at the University of London. He completed a 5-year architecture course in 3 years, graduating in 1927. Antonio was recognized in some quarters as the foremost Filipino modernist architect of his time. The rank and the title of National Artist of the Philippines was conferred on him by President Ferdinand Marcos in 1976. Pablo S. Antonio first came into premiere in 1933 with the construction of the Ideal Theater along Avenida Rizal in Manila. His work caught the eye of the Far Eastern University founder, Dr. Nicanor B. Reyes Sr., who was looking to build a school campus that was modern style between 1938 and 1950. He designed several buildings on the university campus in the Art Deco style. The FEU campus is considered as the largest ensemble of surviving Art Deco architecture in Manila. In 2005, it received an honorable mention citation from the UNESCO for the body's 2005 Asia Pacific Heritage Award for the Culture Heritage Conservation. Also, Antonio designed the White Cross Orphanage in 1938 along Santolan Road in San Juan City and the Manila Polo Club in 1950 in Makati. He likewise designed the Ramon Roses Publication Building, now Guzman Institute of Electronics, and Solar Street in Manila, the Capitan Luis Gonzaga Building in 1953, and the Boulevard Alhambra, now called Bel Air, apartment building in Rojas Boulevard, and where Manila by Hostel is located to the fourth floor. The Art of Deco apartment is near TM Catao Avenue and beside Miramar Hotel. It was built in 1937. Apart from the Ideal Theater, Antonio also designed several other theater in Manila, including the Dalisay Forum Galaxy Life in 1941, Lyric in Scala Theater as of 2014. Only the Forum Life and Scala theaters remain standing. Through the Forum in Scala, theaters have been got appreciation for Pablo S. Antonio. Antonio architecture and its adoption of Art Deco techniques was radical for its day. Um, Neoclassicism being the dominant motif of Philippine architecture when he began his career. His style was noted for its simplicity and clean structural design. He was cited for taking Philippine architecture into a new direction with clean lines, plain surfaces, and bold rectangular masses. Antonio strove to make each building unique. Avoiding obvious trademarks, Antonio was also conscious of adapting his buildings to the tropical climate of the Philippines in order to highlight natural light and also avoid rain seepage. He utilized sunscreens, slanted windows, and other devices. Antonio himself has been quoted as stating that buildings should be planned with utility in mind and stability forever as the aim of the architecture. That building must be progressive, simple in design, but dignificant true to the purpose without resulting to an applied set of aesthetics and shouted eternally recruit truth. When he was named National Artist of the Philippines in 1976, he was only the second architect so honored. After his contemporary Juan Nafkil, his eldest son, architect Pablo Reyes Antonio Jr., restored some of his Art Deco buildings in FEU campus. Pablo S. Antonio was awarded by National Artist of the Philippines. The Order of National Artist of the Philippines is order ng mga pambansang alagad ng sining ng Pilipinas. Is an order bestowed by the Philippines on Filipinos who have made significant contribution to the development of Philippine art. Members of the order are known as national artists, originally instituted as an award. It was elevated to the status of an order in 2003. The order is administered by the Cultural Center of the Philippines by virtue of President Ferdinand Marcos. Proclamation number 1001 of April 2, 1972, and the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. The first award was commensally conferred on Filipino painter Ferdinando Amorsolo.
Leandro B. Locsin, pinanganak siya noong August 15, 1928 at namatay siya noong November 15, 1994. Was a Filipino architect, artist, and interior designer known for his use of concrete floating volume and simplistic design in his various projects, and a bill collector. He was fond of modern painting and Chinese ceramics. He was proclaimed a National Artist of the Philippines Architecture in 1990 by the late President Corazon C. Aquino. At ito po ang mga nakuha niyang award and achievements. Number 1, Outstanding Young Men Award for Architecture 1959, Rizal Centennial Award for Architecture 1962, and Republic of Culture Heritage Award for 1970. Patnubay ng Sining Kalinangan Award 1972 and Art of Culture Prize sa ikatlong Fukuoka Asian Culture Prize Ceremony sa Japan, 1992.
So, next is Jose Maria Zaragoza Iveles. He was born noong December 6, 1912 sa Quiapo, Manila, and he died noong November 26, 1994 at the age of 81 sa Manila. He graduated at the University of Santo Tomas, Zaragoza, earned a bachelor degree in architecture na nakuha niya noong taong 1936. In the 1938 naman, sa licensing examinations, he came in 7th place. Additionally, the International Institute of Liturgical Art in Rome conferred on him a diploma in liturgical architecture and art. At the Hilversum Special Exploration Community in the Netherlands, he got a recognition exhaustive preparation. So, during the earlier years of his profession, Zaragoza had gatherings with American architect Frank Lloyd Wright, finishing with a visit to Wright atelier in Arizona in the United States in 1956. However, in contrast to his contemporaries, Zaragoza drew inspiration from European architecture rather than American architecture. So, makikita po natin ang iilan sa kanyang famous work. So, first is the Meralco Building in Ortigas. Second naman po is the Santo Niño Domingo Church in Quezon City. And last po is the Union Church of Manila. Zaragoza combined a simple unadorned design of the international style with traditional forms from Spanish colonial architecture. So, gaya nga po ng sabi ko kanina is, mas binigyang pansin po niya yung Spanish colonial architecture kesa dun sa American architecture. So, here is his achievements. Let's start with the 1973 Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan or the Stalwart of Art and Culture Award awarded by the City of Manila. So, next is the 1977 Gold Medal of Merit awarded by the Philippine Institute of Architects or PIA, bestowed to him by his mentor Juan Nakpil. So, next is 2014, the National Artist for Architecture, and conferred by the President of the Philippines through Proclamation number 812. So, next po is si Juan Felipe Nakpil y de Jesus, or also known as Juan Nakpil. He was born on May 26, 1899 sa Quiapo, Maynila, and he died noong May 7, 1986 at the age of 86 years old. So, yung name po ng mother niya is si Gregoria de Jesus, and yung father naman po niya is si Julio Nakpil. Both of his parents were prominent figures in the Philippines Revolution against Spain. Nag-aral po siya sa Quiapo and Tondo sa early education niya before siya mag-enroll sa Manila High School, from which he graduated in 1917. Thereafter, he enrolled in the University of the Philippines Engineering Program. He also studied sculpture with Maestro Ocampo and freehand drawing, painting, and decorative arts with Fabian de la Rosa and Fernando Amorsolo while at UP. He moved for the United States 2 years later and he enrolled in University of Kansas, where he graduated in 1922 with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. He had already signed up for hydraulic engineering at Cornell University when he received a message from his uncle, Dr. Bautista Lins, who was covering all the costs of his education, na nilarecommend sa kanya na mag-change ng different subject. So, he went for France in summer of 1925 to study architecture at the Fontainebleau Academy of Fine Arts, where he earned his diploma in architecture after heeding his uncle's advice. So, the Philippine Association of Board Examiners named Nakpil Architect of the Year in 1939, 1940, and 1946, and Most Outstanding Professional in Architecture in 1951. He also received the Institute of Architects Gold Medal of Merit in 1950. President Ramon Magsaysay's Presidential Medal of Merit in 1955, and the Rizal Pro Patria Award in 1972. He received the title of National Artist on June 12, 1973.
So these are the national artists for film and broadcast arts. So first, si Eddie Romero. He was born on July 7, 1924 sa Dumaguete. And he died on March 28, 2013 sa Quezon City due to prostate cancer. Ang kanyang mga anak ay sina Joey Romero, Leo Romero, and Angel Romero. Ang kanyang asawa ay si Carolina Gonzalez. And his parents are Jose E. Romero and Pilar Cinco. He is known as Eddie Romero, but his full name is Eddie Edgar Cinco Romero. He garnered different awards. Kilala siya when it comes to film and broadcast industry, lalo na sa kanyang mga horror films. Examples are the sequences of Blood Islands in 1968, 1969, and 1970. He was a Filipino film director, film producer, and screenwriter. So, all around siya. And that's why marami siyang awards na nakuha throughout his career days. Next naman is some of his achievements. So, the achievements of Eddie Romero. In 1976, yung film na Ganto Kami Noon, Paano Kayo Ngayon, he won as Best Director. And yung mismong film ay nanalo as Best Screenplay in MMFF or Metro Manila Film Festival. Next, in 1984, yung film naman na Ang Padrino won the Best Screenplay and FAMAS Awards. Next, in 1991, nagkamit siya ng Gawad si City para sa sine. And in 2000, he won an award, Lifetime Achievement Award in Cine Manila International Film Festival. And lastly, in 2003, napabilang na siya sa mga National Artists of the Philippines. Specifically, National Artist for Film and Broadcast Arts. So these are some only of the achievements of Eddie Romero kasi napakadami niyang achievements in this industry. So I only gave 5 but madami pa. That's all. Thank you.
So for the next category for national artists, so this is the national artist for sculpture. So next slide. So national artist for sculpture, the first who artist for the national artist sculpture is Napoleon Abueva. So he was born of January 26 in 1930 in Tagbiliran City, and he died at February 16, 2018 at the cause of National Kidney and Transplant Institute. And his full name is Isabelo Veloso Abueva, and studied at finishing his Bachelor of Fine Arts in Sculpture at the University of the Philippines or yung Universidad ng Pilipinas in 1953. And si Napoleon Abueva is kilala rin siyang bilang as the father of the modern Philippine sculpture, and through proclamation of the number of 1539, he was proclaimed as National Artist for Sculpture in 1976 when he was 46 years old. Na-proclaim siya in National Artist in a year of 1976 when he was at the age of 46 years old, and making him the youngest recipient of the award of today. And his achievement is the first on the list is in 1951 he got the first sculpture exhibition by the Art of Association of the Philippines. And next is in year of 1974 he got honored by the first prize in the fifth annual art exhibition, and the last is in year of 1952 he got a first prize and special award on the fourth sculptural exhibition. So then the next artist for national artist is Guillermo Tolentino. So Guillermo Tolentino, he was born of July 24, 1890 in Malolos, and died at the date of July 12, 1976 in Quezon City. And his full name is Guillermo Estrella Tolentino. So si Guillermo Tolentino was the Filipino sculptor and professor of the University of the Philippines, same as din sa school name, Napoleon Agbeba, and he was designated as a national artist of the Philippines for sculpture in 1973, and he was designated for the national artist in 1973 before his death. Is 3 years yun bago nangyari, or may siya as a for national artist of the Philippines. Then of his achievements, so the first on the list is in year 1959. So in 1959 he got UNESCO Cultural Award in sculpture, and in 1976 he got a award in Patnubay ng Sining at Kaliningan Award, and in year of 1967 he got a award for Republic Cultural Heritage Award, and in a year of 1970 he got award of Presidential Medal of Merit, and in a year of 1979 he got the award or achievements of Diwanang Lai Award, and the last on the list, in a year of 1973 he got award for National Artist of the Philippines for visual arts in the sculpture. So that's all for national artists for sculpture.
Catalino Ortiz Broca, o mas kilala sa tawag na Lino Broca, born on Pilar, Sorsogon on April 3, 1939 and died on May 22, 1991 because of car accident. Lino Broca grew up and lived in San Jose, Nueva Ecija, and graduated from Nueva Ecija High School in 1936. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential and significant filmmakers in the history of Philippine cinema. He directed landmark films such as Sinimbang Ka Ngunit Kulang noong 1974, Maynila sa Mga Kuko ng Liwanag noong 1975, Insiang 1976, Bayan Ko Kapit sa Patilim noong 1984, and Dora Pronobis noong 1989. Matapos ang pagkamatay sa car accident noong 1991, he was given a National Artist of the Philippines Film Award for having made significant contributions to the development of Philippine arts. Noong 1970 naman, he directed his first film entitled Wanted Perfect Mother. It was based on the sound of music and the local comic serial. It won an award for Best Screenplay at the 1970 Manila Films Festival. Sa taong din yon ay nanalo siya ng the Citizens Council for Mass Media's Best Director Award for the film Santiago. Noong 1974, Broca directed Tinimbang Ka Ngunit Kulang, which told the story of a teenager growing up in a small town amid its petty and gross injustices. Dahil dito, Broca earned another Best Director Award from the Filipino Academy of Movie Arts and Sciences. Insiang noong 1976 was the first Philippine film ever shown at the Cannes Film Festival. It was screened in the director's fortnight section of the 1978 Cannes Film Festival. It is considered to be one of Broca's best films. Some says it's his masterpiece. The film Jaguar 1979 was nominated for the Palme d'Or at the 1980 Cannes Festival, becoming the first Filipino film to compete in the main competition of the film festival. It won Best Picture and Best Director at the 1980 FAMAS Awards. It also won 5 Gawad Buren Awards, including Best Picture and Best Direction. In 1986, Broca served as a jury member in the 39th Cannes Film Festival. Broca directed over 40 films. Macho Dancer 1988 was screened in the Philippines at the time of its release, but it was heavily censored due to its political and sexual content. Broca secretly smuggled an uncensored 35mm print of the film out of the country to evade government censorship. The print is now in the collection of the Museum of Modern Art. Other notable works include Oraprona Bis, 1989, and Gumapong Kasalusak noong 1990. Gerardo de Leon was born on Ilagan. He was a medical director by profession, but his ultimate love for film won him over. He made his acting debut in the 1934 film Ang Dangal. He acted in 8 other films before becoming a director. The first film he directed was Bahay Kubo on 1939. It's starring Feli Vallejo, an actress whom he later married. De Leon produced a number of anti-American propaganda films during World War II, in collaboration with the occupying Japanese forces and Japanese director Abe Yotaka, who personally chose De Leon for the projects. De Leon was arrested and charged with treason after the Japanese were defeated, and was almost executed by the Filipino government. But at the last minute, he was pardoned when evidence came to light on during the war. He had secretly assisted the Filipino resistance as well. Nicknamed Manong De Leon is the most awarded film director in the history of the Filipino Academy of Movie Arts and Sciences. FAMAS Awards. From 1952 to 1971, he was awarded 7 FAMAS Awards, 3 of them received consecutively. His 1961 film The Moises Padilla Story was selected as the Philippine entry for the Best Foreign Language Film at the 32nd Academy Awards, but was not accepted as a nominee. All of the films for which he won Best Director also won Best Picture at the FAMAS, namely Sawa sa Lumang Simboryo 1952, Hanggang sa Dulo ng Daigdig 1958, Huwag Mo Akong Limutin noong 1960, No Lumetangere 1961, adapted from the novel of the same title, El Filibusterismo 1962, Daigdig ng Mga Api noong 1965, and Gilit noong 1971. One of his unfinished projects was Juan de la Cruz 1972 with Fernando Poe Jr. He is known to fans of cult horror films for the handful of 1960s horror movies he directed. Some co-directed with his friend Eddie Romero and co-financed with American money. These films included Terror is a Man, 1959, The Blood Drinkers, Blood is the Color of Night, 1964, Curse of the Vampires, Whisper to the Wind, 1966, Brides of Blood, 1968, and Mad Doctor of Blood Island, 1969. Roger Corman hired him in 1971 to direct his Bleeding Women in Prison, Film Women in Cages, 1971, featuring Pam Grier as a sadistic prison warden, and Philippine sex symbol Sofia Moran. De Leon died on July 25, 1981 at age of 67. Ismael Bernal, who was born in Manila on September 13, 1938. He studied at Burgos Elementary School, Mapa High School, and at the University of the Philippines, where he finished his Bachelor of Arts degree in English in 1959. Was a Filipino filmmaker, stage and television director, actor, and a screenwriter. He directed many landmark Filipino films such as Nunal sa Tubig noong 1976, City After Dark noong 1980, Relasyon 1982, Himala noong 1982, and Hinugod sa Langit noong 1985. He was declared as a national artist of the Philippines in 2001. Aside from film, Bernal also directed television shows like the longtime drama series Ang Makulay na Daigdig ni Nora, for which he was named Outstanding Director in a Drama Series by the Patas Award in 1979. Metro Magazine, Easy Pinoy, Dear Teacher, and episodes for Petavision and Garna. As an actor, he played lead roles in stage plays like Kamatayan sa Isang Anyo ng Rosas in 1991 and Baching noong 1992. He won the Rurian for Best Director 4 times for Dalawang Pugad Isang Ibon noong 1977, Broken Marriage noong 1983, Hinugod sa Langit noong 1985, and Pahiram ng Isang Umaga noong 1989. And the Best Screenplay for City After Dark noong 1980. His film Pagdating sa Dulo won for him the FAMAS for Best Screenplay Award, while Himala 1982 garnered 9 major awards in the Metro Manila Film Festival. In that same year, Bernal was chosen by the Manunuri ng Pelikulang Pilipino as the most outstanding filmmaker of the decade in 1971 to 1980. Among the 10 best films chosen by the critics, 5 were his. These include Pagdating sa Dulo, Nunal sa Tubig, Manila by Night, Himala, and Hinugod sa Langit. He was also hailed as the Director of the Decade by the Catholic Mass Media Awards o CMMA. Bernal also won the CMMA Best Director Award noong 1983, the Bronze Hugo Award in the Chicago International Film Festival noong 1983 for the movie Himala, The Cultural Center of the Philippines presented him Tagawad CCP para sa Sining for Film in 1990. In 1993, he received the ASEAN Cultural Award in Communication Arts in Brunei Darussalam. His tunal sa tubig aliw and relasyon was among the 25 Filipino films shown in New York from July 31 to August 99, organized by the Film Society of Lincoln Center in partnership with the Philippine Centennial Commission, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, IFFCOM, the Philippine Information Agency, the Consulate General of the Philippines in New York, and the Philippine Centennial Coordinating Council, Northeast USA. This series of Filipino films were presented at the Walter Reed Theater of the Lincoln Center in celebration of the 100th year of Philippine independence.
So the last four artists for national artists for film and broadcast art is Fernando Po Jr. and the of his birthday is August 20 in 1939 in Manila. And the date of death is December 14, 2004 at St. Luke Medical Center in Quezon City. And his children is Lavi Po, Ronyan Po, and Grace Po. And his wife is Susan Roses in the year of 1968 to 2004. So his real name is Ronald Allen Kelly Po, known or mas kilalang Fernando Po Jr. and he referred by the initial of or yung initial name niya is FPJ pag pinaikli, and isa rin siyang Filipino actor, film director, producer, screenwriter, and politician. And yun, and siya is matagal siyang naging successful dun sa career, and hanggang sa na-earn niya yung nickname na The King. And next is yung his achievements. So dun sa movie niya na Ang Padrino in 1985 is napangaralan siya bilang he also won the Best Director and Screenplay for screenplay in a movie of Ang Padrino in a year of 1985, and he was honored for award of the Best Actor in the movie of the Kahit Butas ng Karayom Ay Papasokin Ko in a year of 1976, and same as doon sa Magnum 357 in a year of 1987, and umpisahan mo tatapusin ko in a year of 1984 is same lang na natanggap niya is yung is the Best Director. So as you can see is ayan po yung mga movie niya na kung saan is nakatanggap siya ng achievements for Best Director and Screenplay dun sa Ang Padrino in a year of 1985, and dun naman sa Best Actor in a year of 1996 sa Kahit Butas ng Karayom Papasokin Ko sa movie niya na yun. And dun din sa Magnum 357 is na nakatanggap siya as the best action star for in a movie of Magnum 357. And dun din gaya din sa same lang din nung natanggap niya dun sa movie na Umpisahan Mo Tatapusin Ko in a year of 1984. And yan. And last is yun lang po. So na topic namin yung about for national artists na nominate as the best in different category, and nakilala din sa mga for their hard work kaya sila napili as the best or for the national in a different category, like din sa theater and dun sa film and broadcast, and dun sa mga movie nila is kung bakit sila kinilala as the best of sa mga gawa nila, kaya sila na-nominate as the best, as the national artist for film. Yun lang po. Thank you. And that's all po.